Welcome, everyone. We're glad you decided to spend your evening with us, at least an hour. We're going to do our online learning informational session for our parents tonight. And I get the pleasure of starting us off. I'm Dr. Reva Cosby. I'm your superintendent. And with me tonight is Mrs. Lisa Miner. She is our director of teaching and curriculum and instruction. And we also have with us Mrs. Ella Jordan Isaacs. That's the beautiful voice that you hear on Sunday nights. Miss Jordan Isaacs, she works with our parents, as you know, and she's also my communications person. So she is helping us out with this important information tonight. So I would like to just take a minute and remind us how we got to the decision to do online learning. We did listen to parents from surveys, and as you may realize, you did say remote learning was your number one option. It was closely followed by blended learning, which in fact was our staff number one option, but they were also closely tied with online learning. So having such a close decision, we also looked at safety issues, which you know, safety is our number one priority. And the fact that our district is considered in the level 3, which is red for the state of Ohio. And that means that we have a high possibility of having the virus. As you know, we have a big number of cases. So we felt like the safest thing to do was to bring our students back for the first 9 weeks. And that way we can make sure that we have opportunity to make sure before we come back that it'll be safe for everyone. What I wanted to also share with you was the fact that what we're going to be doing when school starts up in August is not going to be like what happened in March. In March, if you'll remember, we were told on one day, like a Thursday or so, that we were going to have to shut down by Monday of the following week, that students had to be out of our buildings, and we had to continue to school them. So across the state and across the country, people scrambled to, do the best that they could. And so that being said, I would have to say educators did an excellent job. They did the best they could with the time that they had. What I will assure you of is that starting in the spring and well through the summer, my team has been putting together the most exciting, engaging, and best instruction that I think we're going to find in online learning. We were able to pilot it this summer. We got a lot of positive feedback from our families who participated, and we're going to show you what it's going to be like for you when your students come to school. You're going to realize that unlike a lot of people felt in the spring, like they were actually having to do the teaching, that our teachers will in fact be in control of the instruction and the education. So I'm excited about this. What I want to show you now is how you get to this information from just going to our website. So if you can get to our website, which I know you all can because you're on here watching us now, you're going to see how to do the rest. So we're in the process now. We're pulling up our website. You should be able to see that. And at the top of the website in the blue, there's always information that you can click on and find out things that are happening. And so, for example, it is the link right now for this that you're participating in. All across the top, as you can see, it tells you how to get to important information. But for tonight's purposes, we're going to go over to the left-hand side, and you'll see where it says online learning. And you're going to click on online learning. This is called a landing page. So this is a landing page for our online learning site. And on it, you'll see a message of hello. And then as you move down, that's a picture of me. Don't get scared. It's a big old picture. I know that, but I just wanted you to have an idea of who you're talking to or who's talking to you. And that's my latest message. I'll be trying to change those frequently. This is a welcome message. As you continue, right now, what I'd like to do is show you the technology help desk. A lot of people have concerns about, can I do it? What if I don't know how to get online? So we're going to click on that help desk button, that help desk link, and it's going to take us to our help desk. And again, this is the district help desk. You'll get to see who will be helping you in the different buildings for technology issues. So there's a big red button that says help. And under it, there is a link that you will push, and it says Technology Help Desk. So on this page, you'll see the help desk team, and there are pictures of the different people in the different buildings. So you see Madison Park is here in Westbrook Village. So when you make a connection, and I would suggest that you go through their emails. We're just like everyone else. It's so much easier to see an email come up than to respond. So that would be my first option. And then if you need to have conversation, their numbers are on there as well. But before you even get to that point, look over to your right and you'll see that there are videos. The first one tells you how to log in to Clever. So if you're at home and you're thinking, how do I log in? You'll click that button and there's a video that'll walk you through it step by step. How to set up a hotspot. In the event that you are given a hotspot and you're not sure how to do it, it'll show you how to do that. Google Classroom how-tos. How do you address things in the Google Classroom? Now, do we expect that that will be enough? For some people, it will be. For others, you'll need to contact your tech help person. And that's what they'll be there for. And they're excited to help you. So that is one thing that I think will make a significant difference in how things go. One of the things that I wanted to remind everybody when we're talking about technology, because I think this came up at our 2 o'clock one, was we are giving computers to every student. But if you have a computer already checked out, you do need to get that turned back in. They'll get that one back. They'll be able to get it ready for the school year, and then it'll be redistributed. So if you do have one, please remember to turn that in. So now we're going to go back to the home page for online learning. You'll see that again, online learning. And now you're going to scroll through this landing page. And we've gotten past that. And now you know what schools your children are attending. And so what you'll need to do is to find your student's school. We're going to go to the high school. So we're going to click on Trotwood-Madison High School. And here you'll see another, it is set up very similar to the district landing page. So there's a message, and then there'll be a principal's message, and there'll be a picture of Mr. McCray. And then you'll go down and you'll find the grade level that your student is in. So we're going to look at a 10th grade student today. Now on this page is going to be pictures of all of the different teachers who teach 10th grade. So there's English, and their pictures are already in. The other teachers are sending in their pictures. But they will be on the website. The history teachers, the math teachers, they will all be here on the landing page. So we're going to go into Mrs. Cockcroft's class and see what she has planned for her students. So the teachers have been training all summer for how to make this a better experience than you all had in the spring. They actually had to do 4 units. Well, over the summer, of course, they didn't have to do it. Over 100 of our teachers volunteered to do this. They were paid a small stipend to do it, but you will see that it's taken a lot of time and energy. And those teachers who didn't, they're going to be doing it when they get back to work in August. So Mrs. Cockcroft, she has a very nice setup. She's lounging, but she's reading. And we're going to go on down. She says, welcome to everyone. She's going to put the bell schedule up once she gets it. She has a video welcome back message, which is really cool to listen to. Parents, it's motivational. I looked at it and it is. But what I really like on her site is she tells you a little bit about herself. who I am. So we're going to click on that so that you can see. She talks about being excited about going back to school, and you can see she's a Wright State graduate. And then as you look on through, she just has put some fun pictures up there to give her students an idea of who she is and the things that are fun to her. And my guess is she's going to ask the same of the students. You can see she talks about social distancing as a teacher. And so now we've learned a little bit about her. We're going to go back and see what it is she's asking of the students. So now you're back over on the left-hand side, and you can go to English 10. English 10 General, you can get it there. You can also get it from that page with the flowers. That's English 10 General. You can see she also teaches English 10 Honors as well. So now on this part of her page, you'll see she has her teacher office hours. All of the teachers are going to give office hours, so you'll know when you can get in contact with them. She has an August calendar, and she has welcome back students on the 24th. She comes back on Tuesday the 4th, and she has that marked as well. So you'll see a calendar for the month, and she'll have major events on there. As we go down, she has her ELA assignments. So we call a playlist what is traditionally known as, like, the teacher's outline for what they're doing. So in this case, we're calling it a playlist. She also has a learning target video message. In that message, I think she put on, at some point during the summer, it sort of talks about why she made a change in her learning target. And she can do that personally with you. If you click on that after our session, you'll hear her actually talking. Then English 10, her general unit playlist, we're going to click on that. And her first unit is professionalism, portfolios, and self-advocacy. She has a TED Talk for the students to watch as an introduction, and then she's going to have her playlist here. And on it, it will tell what the expectations are for the student for the whole week. And she'll have on there how much time is needed to complete these different activities. So parents, at any time, you can get on the website. You can do just what I told you to do. There are no passwords. There's nothing holding you out of the site. You can get in and see what the expectation is of your student. So if they say to you that they were done with their work, you can say, well, let me go see what Mrs. Cockcroft wanted you to do. And you'll know whether or not they did it. So let's see, does she have anything below this? She lets you know what's coming soon. I'm not sure why she's a baked potato. I'll have to ask her that. But anyway, at this point, I am going to turn over this to Mrs. Minor, because she's going to talk to you more about the playlist and more about the curriculum.
Thank you, Dr. Cosby, and thank you everyone for joining us this evening. We're very excited. Description of what type of lesson plan and play the lesson, which is the virtual lesson plan, which we call a playlist, what that is consist of and how to read it through. So Luke will pull it up for us. And this is something, as you just saw from Dr. Cosby, you'll have access to this 24/7, just clicking on our website and going to your child's building. You'll be able to click on your child's teacher and find the playlist. So for today, we're going to look at an example of an exemplar playlist that we made for a sample for all the rest of the teachers. And we'll just give Luke a chance to pull it up. And And our teachers, in March, while they were teaching, they actually completed over 1,000 hours of online learning. We knew we needed to improve, so they on their own attended many, many hours of professional development. And then, as Dr. Cosby said, they also did modules, blended learning modules, which these are the work that you see as a result of their new learning. So Luke, do you have the playlist?
Just 1 second. I'm sorry. I accidentally closed that tab.
All right, no problem. So we also so you'll be able to, as long as you can locate your teacher, you'll be able to pull up the playlist. You'll be able to see the exact time. We are requiring every teacher to do face-to-face virtual meetings. So there won't be a situation where they just go online and do their work independently. There'll be some communication, contact with their teacher every day. That is a requirement. You will be able to see on the playlist, what time is that? Is it a 9 a.m. meeting? Is it a 2 o'clock meeting? You'll see it just depending on the teacher and the subject. So we're looking forward to that. We want to thank the families that participated in our summer learning because they gave us feedback, and a lot of this that we built on the website is a result of things that they recommended that will make it easier for families. We know many people are working during the day or working at home with their kids. We just wanted to make sure we eliminated the barriers that we had before in the spring.
Ms. Minor, can I add something?
Yes.
At this moment, I did want to remind everyone that we will continue our meal program as we did this summer. We will be providing weekly meals to our families. So you'll get more information as it gets closer to school time. But I wanted to make sure everybody was aware that that was not going to change. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so this initial screen, we have standard operating procedures for all of our teachers, and so they'll have that at their fingertips. So Luke will scroll down a little bit and we'll see the exemplar playlist where it says Cockcroft and Whitworth, ELA 12. We'll click on that. And then this is when you're looking when you're checking out, you're at work all day, you ask your child, what did you have to do for online learning? And they give you some information, but you need more details at your fingertips. You'll be able to read the teacher's lesson plan. Click on the videos, click on whatever interactive activities that he or she assigned and see firsthand what was the work designed, the work that was designed for your child. So if you look at the framework of it, all of them will have these structures. The I can statements, what is it your child will be able to know and do as a result of this lesson? What are the goals? What are the learning targets? You'll see that right at the top. We have a section called Learn About It, which is like introductory. What are we learning about? There'll be a section on all of the playlist called Practice It, which will be a variety of choices. One thing about online learning, children have choice. They also have time limits and a lot of details to help build their ownership. It's really like college career readiness. We know when we take online courses in college, students are getting this training now. You can see the evidence of learning at the bottom, which are the assessments. How are we proving that we've actually learned it? What are some of those assessment activities? If you look on the right column, you can see that the teacher has been very explicit with the minutes that it should take for each activity. She has the Zoom meeting time that they're going to meet face to face. Attend Zoom meeting number 1 for 30 minutes at 2 o'clock on the 26th. Very detailed. Attend Zoom meeting number 2 for 30 minutes at 2:00 so that student can plan for that. The parent can know what time they should be online with their teachers face to face. That will be on all of the playlists for families to see. And so we're excited that this is something new that we'll be doing that's different than we had in the spring. We also want to get in the practice of allowing the students to reflect and give us feedback regarding how they're learning, what we can do better. So every playlist will have some type of reflection sheet that the child will fill out. What activity did I complete? What helped me? What did not help me? And what would I like to see? How could I be helped more? Or how do I feel? You can see the little rubric about I am confused, or I can teach this, or I understand the concept. Feedback from the child, the voice of the child in this era of online learning for us is very important, as well as the voice of the parents. So we have the teachers know that they have a scheduled face-to-face instruction with students, in addition to many engaging activities that they can do offline, because we don't want kids online for hours at a time. We want to be very careful of the screen time and make sure there's a variety of activities where they're not always having to stare at the computer screen. We have Fridays set up for intervention and enrichment support, virtual field trips, and parent meetings if needed, or student conferences if needed. So those are just a few summary reports or summary points of our playlist and some of the background information on why and how it was developed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miner. That was wonderful. And now we have Mrs. Ella Jordan Isaac coming on.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Cosby. Thank you, Mrs. Miner. I have questions that were a part of our 2:00 meeting, but I do have some additional questions this evening for the 7:00. I've organized them by high school, middle school, elementary, primary. I also have questions regarding technology, special ed, IEP, and gifted, testing, and then general questions. So I'll start with the general questions because that is the longest list. If a student needs to change their schedule, how will they successfully manage that change? The answer: students will be able to contact their school counselors. How will teachers divide the class and ensure students are working to their highest level of potential? There will be daily face-to-face check-ins, and lessons will be provided virtually. All assignments will be turned in through the Google Classroom platform. All students and families will have 24/7 access to the teacher's playlist or virtual lesson plans. Teachers have received specialized training to ensure that all students are receiving a quality online education. How will additional assistance be provided for a child if needed? We have a virtual support staff assigned to each teacher's classroom, who will then serve as a tutor or assignment clarification support. We also have a help desk that will be available during and after hours. When will conferencing for teachers fall into effect? There will be an opportunity for weekly conference sessions with students and families each Friday. We will still hold the regularly scheduled conferences after first quarter, either virtually or face-to-face, depending on the recommendation from the Ohio Department of Health. How will teachers put in grades? How often will they update progress book? General ed teachers are expected to update grades weekly. Unified arts teachers may be the exception because they may not see students every week. If a parent has a concern, however, they can schedule a meeting with the teacher because the teacher will have their office hours posted. Are students required to meet with the teachers? All students are expected to attend meetings hosted by the teacher. What are the attendance requirements? Teachers will provide that information during the first week of school. Students are expected to be present daily because teachers will be taking attendance. Will the one-on-one meetings with teachers be required? What if there's a challenge with a parent's work schedule that doesn't permit the child to attend due to their age? Parents are simply able to contact the teacher directly and schedule their meeting if there's a schedule conflict with the established time. For example, if the meeting is scheduled for your second grader while you're at work, but they're with a caregiver or another family member and you simply want to be present, you do not want the caregiver or the other family member to attend your child's meeting, simply email the teacher to let them know and they will work with you to schedule your meeting so that it accommodates your schedule. Is there any support available for parents because some people may feel overwhelmed by all of these new changes and teaching their children at home? If the student in the Student Services Department, we now have a director, Mrs. Tracy Mallory, and we have partnerships with Samaritan Behavioral Health that can support with stress and mental health supports. In addition, there are templates online that provide suggestions for time management and ways to help families with scheduling and to create opportunities for downtime. What sort of classes will replace elective classes like cooking and swimming? We were able to maintain many of our elective courses. They have simply moved to a virtual online platform. However, unfortunately, swimming cannot take place at this time. But again, we do have plenty of other elective options. When will the students get their schedules and how? Students will receive their schedules when they pick up their technology devices, either during the week of August 10th or August 17th. Can we get a supply list? The tax holiday is the weekend of August 7th through 9th. Supply lists are available online at each building's web page. And I did check that out today. So if you go to the district website, you can simply move over to the tab for buildings, and each building is listed with their supply list on the front page. What days and times will the weekly parent focus groups take place? I want to make sure that I take my lunch break at that time. Do we have a schedule or anything in place that we can post perhaps later?
So, Mrs. Isaac, the weekly parent conferences are optional. It's not a scheduled time. It's just something that the families that helped us in the summer with planning said it would be something nice to offer. We will have regularly scheduled conferences as we do every quarter at the end of the quarter, and that scheduling will happen the same way where parents will be notified to set up an appointment. If a parent would like to request a Friday meeting, they would just contact their child's teacher and make arrangements.
Okay. How much screen time will students have now that everything is online? Recommendations are that students take breaks throughout the day if online for an extended amount of time. Our teachers will conduct face-to-face virtual sessions, but not for more than 30 minutes to an hour. Teachers have been trained on project-based assignments to limit unnecessary screen time. Okay, those are our general questions. Okay, I'm going to move now to the technology-based questions. Well, maybe testing, because that's a shorter. Will information be provided for state testing requirements or changes? Yes, as we receive information from the Ohio Department of Education, we will share that information with families. Will information be provided for SAT and ACT testing? Yes. The school and district virtual landing page or website will provide all state and national testing updates. How will the beginning, middle, and end of state diagnostic testing be given? We will follow the state scheduled testing requirements as directed from the Ohio Department of Education. At this time, no information has been provided. The district will hold 2 benchmarking assessments, one in September and the other in January. Has a date been determined yet as to when the state test will be given? No, no information has been communicated at this time. And Dr. Cosby, thank you for answering the question about meals, because that was a question this evening. Will we continue our nutrition services support? Mhm. High school. Will there be any changes in how students earn credits? Because we're using the Ohio Department of Education standards, there are no changes in how students earn credits. Will there be any issues for seniors preparing transcripts for college with them being online for the first 9 weeks? There should be no issues for seniors preparing for college. Our counseling staff will be available to support with transcripts, scholarships, and etc. They are able to host virtual meetings with students and families. Middle school questions. Will there be fall sports for middle school? Will there be clubs and student government? Student safety is our priority. While we do have preliminary plans, we are still meeting with our coaches and extracurriculum staff, following closely the Ohio High School Athletic Association's perspective and guidelines from the Ohio Department of Health before we finalize our plan. Will students be doing PBIS? Yes, we are encouraging building teams to have intentional methods to plan for rewards and recognition while students are experiencing virtual learning. This is a new question. Can you elaborate more on elementary learning and scheduling? There was a lot of information for middle school and high schoolers, but not enough on elementary learning.
So thank you. And Luke wanted us to remind the audience that they can also send questions in on YouTube if they'd like to. But the elementary scheduling, we will be following. We have set times where teachers won't have students online for as much as 30 minutes. We have more like 15 to 20 for daily check-ins, and the playlist will actually schedule out every activity that they will have, the math, the reading, and even the unified arts. All that information will be communicated on the playlist. Principals will also be sending out information. So looking on those landing pages, we will be building them, and by the 24th, all families will have that information. We had a similar schedule. We were able to practice it and actually pilot it this summer with the Summer Rise program. So some of those families know that we've made adjustments to that schedule to make it a smoother transition where the kids aren't having to log on and off as much. So we'll be communicating more about that as we get all of the playlists posted. Your child's teacher will be able to go over it with you.
Thank you. New question. How will the elementary students know who their teachers are? Is this going to be posted on the buildings?
Yes, the buildings, well, there'll be a orientation there the week of, I call it when we do virtual orientation, but the families will be able to come in and pick up their devices, all of the computer technology at that time. You'll be able to find out who your child's teacher is. We'll do a mini orientation on how to use the technology to go over it with the families, with our media technicians, and the principal and teach staff will be on site to answer any questions. This will be a scheduled time because we can't bring all families in at once. So we want to encourage the families to really pay attention to all of the announcements, the letters that come in the mail from their principals regarding their scheduled time to come to the buildings for this virtual online orientation.
Thank you.
Can I also add that just like we showed how to get on the landing page, the elementary buildings were listed there. If we had clicked an elementary building, the teachers' pictures would be there the same way. So you're going to access your elementary buildings the same way that we did, but we just selected the high school. So it's just as easy to get that information on the website.
Right now we have August 10th, the week of August 10th and the week of August 17th scheduled to have those meetings at the buildings to hand out the technology and to go over schedules.
Thank you. Are there certain supplies that students should have to help them with their online virtual learning?
I would say the teachers will provide any workbooks, any other supplies that, of course, the supply list, they will be sharing with the families and the students all of the things that they will need. Some of the things we will provide when we send the computers home. One of the biggest things families can prepare is a workspace, an area where the child can have all of their materials set up for the day, no matter how young or old, just that organization, making sure, and they'll go over this when you pick up the computer, but making sure the Chromebooks are charged up, making sure any paper, pencil things, any type of manipulatives they may need for the lessons, that's what I would encourage the families to start thinking about, getting that space. The virtual online learning, and a lot of families already know, but although the kids aren't leaving the home, you want to keep that same bedtime and all those schedules, because it's different when you're getting up and working from home, as we all know. And we want to just prepare the students for that so that they're ready to go at the 9 o'clock meeting or 10 o'clock meeting, whatever time that class meeting is. The teacher will let you know any extra materials you'll need, but just have that workspace ready.
Thank you. With the decision being made to be 100% virtual, what does this mean for preschoolers when they start? Since the curriculum is digital, a portion of the program is interactive online activities to engage the students, their families, and caregivers. Technology questions. If something happens to the Chromebook I'm using, how do I bring it in if everything is online? The help desk will be available daily for tech support. The building media specialist is the first point of contact. If there's a need to have a device serviced, central office is open by appointment. Are computers going to be given to every student? Yes, that will take place the week of August 10th or August 17th. If I've received a Chromebook in March, can I just keep it so that I don't have to come back to get another one? Unfortunately, no. The tech department must perform systems updates and be sure that the antivirus software is active. Overall, they want to ensure that each device is working properly because students will be using them every day. What about hotspots? Hotspots will also be available. All of the technology components will be available for students the week of August 10th or August 17th. Special ed, IEP, and gifted questions. I have 2 children. One child has an IEP. Online learning assessments were too much for my son in March. He needs one-on-one learning with a teacher who will be available to help. In addition to the classroom teacher, intervention specialists will provide supports aligned to the student's specific IEP. I'm a parent of a student that receives IEP services. I would like to know if my child will still receive one-on-one services while learning at home. I also would like to know, again, the distribution date for students with IEPs if it is something different. My child does not have access to the internet. Students who receive one-to-one support will still have their support for academic instruction. There will be a classroom para that will be connected to the students to provide additional supports. All families will receive notices from their child's school on technology pickup, procedures, and any additional supports that are needed for our students with IEPs. We have 2 questions. For the required daily one-on-one with the teacher, is that per subject? What if the student has multiple teachers?
We do require per subject, but we're not requiring the teachers those meetings to last long. We have, especially at the middle school and the high school level, they will be sharing more about those schedules with the families, but they are keeping that under consideration and making sure those class meetings are spread apart so the child has breaks in between. But yes, they will be required. It may be, depending on how their schedule is, an alternate day, Monday, Wednesday for one teacher, Tuesday, Wednesday for the other, but that face-to-face must be happening.
Thank you. For students who have an IEP and receive additional services, will there be scheduled one-on-one times with their intervention specialist?
The intervention specialist, as well as the Office of Student Supports, are reviewing all IEPs and making sure that we are providing instruction virtually that support the IEP, and they're getting that specifically designed instruction. They met over the spring and did a lot of meetings with families and are making adjustments, and the teachers are prepared, knowing their students, what they need to provide, and we're setting up those support people, the paraprofessionals, as well as the virtual support people, to make sure we can adhere to each child's plan.
Thank you. Is there a minimal time limit the student must physically be on the computer, or as long as they have completed their assignments, does it really matter?
The Ohio Department of Ed has not, because we're virtual, they are expecting us to provide work, the educational experience, up to 6 hours a day. So that doesn't mean we literally want them online, but the work that they provide will allow them to meet the standards. So they're not counting every hour that they're online. However, our attendance and documentation of that is extremely important. And we must make sure, the one thing we'd like to emphasize, they're not giving us a minimum hours requirement, but they are requiring that we have a way that every child is in touch with their teacher every day online. So those weekly or those daily meetings are going to be critical so that we can give your child credit for attendance.
Okay. How would you like students and parents to go about obtaining schedule corrections if there's a mistake currently on the class schedule? Are counselors available to do these corrections now?
I would contact the building directly, and we have counselors that have been working remotely and still making adjustments to schedules. Contact the building. The secretary will be able to put you in touch with either the principal or the counselor to make sure those corrections are made. You can also email the principal and let them know your concerns, and they can make arrangements to have any corrections done in advance.
Thank you. At this time, I do not see any additional questions in our chat, nor at our Talk to Us email. Luke, do you see any additional questions?
I think I see one.
Okay.
It says, what happened if my work schedule is not the same as the time my kids need to be online? We sort of addressed that one, I think, before. And so if you are in a situation where your child is in maybe childcare while you're at work, and so you need to set a different time, the suggestion would be to make contact with your teacher and see if she can arrange a time for you to meet, do that face-to-face piece. Remember, you'll have access to the playlist all day and all evening. So you can come home after work and pull up the playlist and find out what was going on. But again, I would make contact with the teacher, let them know your schedule, and then they can help you arrange a schedule that you can still check in with your child.
I don't see anything additional at this time. Luke, do you see any additional questions?
No, ma'am.
And I would make contact with the teacher, let them know your schedule.
Okay. Again, families are more than welcome to continue to email those questions to us at our online email. It's talktous@trotwood.k12.oh.us. We will respond to those questions to make sure that families are comfortable, they have the information that they need, but we will do our very best to have a very quick turnaround with those answers for you. So Thank you, Ms. Minor. Thank you, Dr. Cosby.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm just checking.